What's up everybody, this is Danny, and today I've teamed up with HMD Global to share with you my 3-month experience with the Nokia 9 PureView. I've been getting a lot of requests to take a look at this camera, especially after the updates. I've been using it on and off since launch, so let's talk about what makes these 5 cameras on the back so special, but also let's talk about some of the things that I want to see improved in the future for this camera tech moving forward. It's an odd looking array of cameras on the back, but I love that blue color. It's got a nice build all around with metal and glass, a 5.99 inch high resolution 1440 by 2880 OLED display, also a 3220 milliamp hour battery, and depending on how many pictures you take in a day, it should last you through the entire day. It's also got an in-display fingerprint scanner, which got better with the update, a clean build of Android, which recently got updated to Android 9 Pie, which I love. No bloat here. This is an Android One phone, and it's also got a 20 megapixel front-facing camera that takes some decent selfies. But the real reason that you would consider this phone is this crazy camera setup here on the back. This is not traditional in the sense where most phones today you would see a telephoto and maybe an ultra wide sensor. All of these lenses here are 12 megapixels with f1.8 aperture. There are 2 monochrome and 2 RGB sensors and that time of flight 3D camera for more accurate depth information. What's incredible is when you hit that shutter button, all 5 cameras capture simultaneously, and I think that's a world's first. And in theory, this should give you some of the most detailed pictures since all of these images are combined, giving you up to 12.4 stops of dynamic range. And also there's no need for an HDR mode because every shot is HDR. If you just take one look at the back of this phone, then you know that this was clearly built for photography enthusiasts. And even when you first start up the phone, it suggests that you download a RAW editor. If you want to take the best pictures that this phone can take, then go into the settings and enable RAW, because this is where this camera shines. The JPEGs have improved quite a bit since the recent updates. They're usable for sure, but when you capture the photo, it will capture RAW and the JPEG at the same time. So if you don't know what a RAW image is, it is an uncompressed version of that capture, giving you all of the detail and information. So you do need to learn how to adjust it. I personally love Snapseed, so that's what I use. You can get back all of the highlights, add more shadow detail, adjust the color and saturation to your liking, and add more contrast. You can really get a great looking photo after this. And here are a few examples of what I've edited. I am no professional when it comes to editing RAW photos, but the images look really great. And what I like is that the JPEGs tend to be a little bit over sharpened. It's a little bit too sharp for my taste. But with RAW, you get a nice blank canvas, so you can add back the sharpness to your liking, so there are clear advantages for RAW capture. Also, another advantage for RAW on the Nokia 9 PureView is the noise reduction. The JPEGs look decent too with nice colors and accurate white balance, but the noise level is higher with the JPEGs, where the RAW has almost zero noise in the shot. So low light photography for the most part really impressed me on the Nokia 9 PureView. All of these cameras snapping at once on the RAW images does create a nice image for tuning after the capture at night. A lot of times it's backwards where the RAW has a little bit more noise and you have to adjust the noise out of it, but this time it's a little bit different. Also, I'm into monochrome or black and white photography, and with the true monochrome lenses, you can get some super detailed images with incredible contrast. I know you can apply a filter to get the black and white look, but if you're into this, this is a great bonus. There's also a depth mode that you can enable that allows shots to add depth information to any shot that you take. You can use portrait mode if you want to, but leaving this on will capture depth for every photo. So leaving this on, it will capture the depth information, the RAW, and the JPEG at the same time with the co-imaging processor that's in the Nokia 9 PureView. While this mode is not perfect, I've had some pictures where it still messes up some edges, but when this mode hits, it really hits, and Nokia says that it captures over 1200 layers of depth, so you can refocus after the shot, and then you can go into the depth slider and create as much background separation as you want. I even shot this bird from really far away, and even though it missed in between the fence, I thought it was really impressive that it was able to capture the information necessary to separate the bird from the background. So you combine all of this with the Pro mode to adjust to whatever settings that you want, and you really have one of the most powerful cameras on a mobile phone today. But the Nokia 9's strongest feature can be its greatest enemy, because in my 3 months of usage, my issue is not with the photography, but how long it takes to process after I take the photo. Depending on how many pictures that you take back to back, you'll have to wait on the processing to even preview that picture, and it really ties up the Snapdragon 845 processor and drains the battery life. So that's why I explained earlier what this camera does, because once you understand how much information that this camera is capturing at the same time, then you can understand why this is happening. Nokia did a great job by really squeezing every bit of computing architecture from the Snapdragon 845. HMD worked very closely with Qualcomm to maximize the ISP, DSP, CPU, and GPU to optimize this chipset to its maximum potential. I can't wait to see what this type of camera tech can do with the Snapdragon 855 and beyond, since those processors are more powerful and perfect for this type of application. Once this tech goes into a more capable processing system and maybe combine that with UFS 3.0 storage for faster loading times of raw images, it would be more compelling than what it is now, and especially if they added maybe a wide angle to the mix, that could get interesting. While I feel like this camera system is not for the average smartphone user that just wants to snap a picture on auto and have it ready to share, I feel like the photo enthusiasts like myself have something to be excited about with this tech. It can only get better from here, so I hope to see a Nokia 10 PureView or whatever they call it next, with also the average user in mind as well. Then I feel like it can be a more mass adopted phone. But I'll keep using this, especially with some software updates that are coming down the road, because software updates can help some of the things that I was talking about. So if things majorly change, then I will revisit this phone and make another video so I can inform you what's going on with the Nokia 9 PureView. So let me know, what do you think about the Nokia 9 PureView? Are you interested in this phone and this camera setup, or would you just rather have a traditional dual or triple camera setup with the wide and telephoto option? Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave the questions in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Subscribe for more videos like this, thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.